What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about ChargePoint, I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what's been really influencing it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So ChargePoint did go down on Friday, 11.68%. New 52-week and all-time low was hit of 80 cents. You did have a lot of volume though, so you had 49.5 million shares being traded. 23 is the average, but regrettably, a lot of the volume did come from algorithmic trading as well as shorts. Not really big money buying the dip, if that makes sense. So as you can kind of see, no transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. Not all that much in news from the company. So last news came out January the 30th, and then as far as SEC filings, there's been absolutely nothing. So it's just been piggybacking off of the negativity in the market. And what I mean by that is, under a Trump administration, EVs are going to struggle. I think everyone kind of knows that, especially ChargePoint. The whole infrastructure got slashed. So I think operationally, ChargePoint wasn't even doing all that well going into a Trump era. But now, under the kind of that new administration, ChargePoint is going to make it so much more difficult for them to succeed. And even a third strike kind of scenario did happen. A lot of OEMs just unveiled their earnings, not all that great, and a lot of them did signal that the EV sector is just burning too much cash and that they're going to pretty much withdraw from that. That does really directly correlate to the infrastructure. So ChargePoint's demand might diminish. So I think ChargePoint was kind of saying that the demand is somewhat lackluster ever since like early 2024. So ChargePoint definitely has its work cut out for it. As I've signaled, I think the only real hope is the fact that it could be a takeover. But like I kind of mentioned, I think in general, it does need to go down quite a lot even for a entity to really start considering ChargePoint. So I'm going to go over some support and resistance and everything else, but ultimately that's kind of what is affecting ChargePoint right now. Right now, or I guess on Friday, shorts did increase 322,000 shares. 30.05% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 122.8 million shares overall being shorted. Shorts have definitely started to double down, so they've sensed a lot of kind of fear in the broader market. So short interest went from roughly 26% to a peak on January the 30th of 30.36. So shorts, I think even if you kind of extend it over the last year, shorts have been all over ChargePoint. And whenever you do historically have, at least normally, lower volume, shorts, pretty much whatever shorts want, they get. And I think that's not just with ChargePoint, but across the board. Any stock that is heavily shorted, that has low volume on a daily basis, that's just a recipe for somewhat disaster. But aside from that, though, one thing that you really need to kind of consider, and I have mentioned this as well in the past, and that is a reverse stock split. So looking right here, ever since it looks like January the 30th, that was when it closed at $1.01. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's including Friday, 6 consecutive trading days below $1. Based on NASDAQ rule 802.01c, so any company trading below 30 consecutive trading days below $1, this is where they could get kind of at least a delisting notice. Companies will just go reverse stock split and kind of rectify that, but that's going down that scary route that a lot of EV automakers have done, where they do multiple reverse stock splits, ultimately destroying shareholder equity. So kind of just take note of that. So ultimately 24 more trading days from, I guess, starting on Monday, that is where they would kind of get that delisting notice, which if that does come, I feel like that in among itself would really spook the market, any currently like holders of ChargePoint, causing a little bit of a pullback. But looking at options, 152,000 in calls, 83,000 in puts. 54% of all the options being done are optimistic in nature. And even though that does say generally people are optimistic, I do have a feeling with shorts increasing, that's just simply shorts hedging. Just in case ChargePoint was to kind of, let's say, burst over $1, their shorts are kind of covered. So that's the negative side of heavily shorted stocks. They can easily just cover and protect themselves, hedge with options. But Of the call options that are being purchased, you do see consensus for it to be roughly around that $1 range going into this upcoming week, and then around $1.50 for March and May. So not a crazy recovery, but still some people are rather optimistic. Still, bears are anticipating for it to be sub during that same kind of period, for it to be sub 50 cents. So you kind of have right now it between the two. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Aside from that though, with it closing at 81 cents and change, it is trading between this S2 and this S3. 68 cents is going to be that next strong support. Then 82 cents is going to be that next strong target / resistance, which most likely over the next little bit it'll continue to flirt with, and then 91 cents will be the following kind of target / resistance. So just take note of all that. Friday it did break below both of them, so yeah, just kind of take note of some of these. Aside from all of that fun stuff, no new analyst ratings. So last one was done 24 days ago. $1 sell rating. Goldman Sachs, Marku has a 68 or 62% success rating, but there's no point really going over the actual chart itself. It is honestly, it's a predetermined trend, not really much to go over. It's below all the key pivotal moving averages. Stochastic RSI does signal that it is rather oversold, so a good piece of news. Specific to ChargePoint, you could see a nice recovery, but with everything that is coming out this week, you have Powell speaking on Monday and Wednesday, sorry. You have also CPI on Wednesday, PPI on Thursday, retail sales on Friday. A lot of good opportunity for the market to recover, or just the massive amount of fear just to spread through it. So ChargePoint would get hit even more. So like I said in many of my last videos, I do feel that I think there is a little bit more downside than upside. So right now, the only potential optimistic thing to really hope for is, let's say, a acquisition, a takeover, or something along those lines. So let me know your viewpoint on ChargePoint. Are you buying? Do you still have hope? What is your general thoughts on the EV sector? Like, what's your kind of 2 cents on all that? One final thing, if you're looking for buy signals, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and banger, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.